This is the FM Gold channel of All India Radio Delhi. We now bring you a recording from our archives in which noted film personality Shabana Azmi reflects upon the life and works of her father, Urdu poet Kaifi Azmi.
Kaifi Azmi has been a very important Urdu poet of our subcontinent. A voice of dissent, he was also an activist who believed that arts have a role to play in social change. They have to work towards creating a better world for generations to come. A visionary and leader of men, he played a significant part in keeping the progressive movement alive, be it through Progressive Writers Association of India or Indian People's Theatre Association, IPTA. Kaifi Azmi was the torchbearer and inspiration for thousands of artists in India and abroad. We have his daughter, celebrated actress and also a significant social activist, Shabana Azmi, with us to share her views on Kaifi Saab. Shabana ji, Kaifi Saab, if I remember, was sent to an Islamic madrasa to become a scholar of Islamic studies. And he in turn became a poet at the age of 11. How was his formative years coming from a traditional zamindari background?
My grandmother used to say that Kaifi as a child was a very sensitive child. At the age of 7, in spite of being a zamindar's son, he would refuse to wear new clothes on Eid because the poor laborers and the farmers couldn't afford new clothes. So he was always somebody who was gifted with a very special sensitivity. Obviously, in spite of being zamindars, or maybe because of it, they had an atmosphere at home which was very conducive to poetry. And he was only 11 years old when he wrote his first poem, and everybody was stunned, including his family. But the thing is, I think the seeds of his fight for justice and a sense of equality grew precisely because he was in a zamindar's home. And it's also famously said about him that when he went to Sultanul Madaris, which was the biggest madrasa in Lucknow, within a couple of months of being there, he formed a union and he was thrown out lock, stock and barrel. So I think he was gifted with a special sensitivity. He always cared for the worker.
So sympathy for the underdog, as you said, started from a very early young age. And when he shifted to Bombay, that's where his major formative year under the legendary Banne Bhai, Sajjad Zahir Sahab, happened. What was the time like during that phase? Would you just tell us something about that?
When he was a young lad working in Kanpur, he had started sending poems on the sly to the Communist Party newspaper. And Sardar Jafri and Sajjad Zahir, both of them were quite intrigued with this young man who was writing such brilliant poetry, and sent people in search of him and found that it was this young man, Kaifi Azmi, born Athar Hussain Rizvi, who was writing this wonderful poetry, and he was invited to come to Mumbai, which he did in a jiffy. And when he came here, then he joined the Communist Party formally. He was very impressed both with Sajjad Zahir and with Sardar Jafri, Ali Jafri. And he started working with them almost within days of arriving in Mumbai, and he lived in a commune which was the Andheri commune, which I think, given his kind of sensitivity and given his kind of talent, was very conducive to the kind of life that he chose to lead, because they were people with a mission. They were people who had come together in their fight for equality and justice and found all that being provided in the leadership of the Communist Party.
What are your early memories of that commune? Because that's a phase very few people really know of. We have read most of it, but you are obviously somebody who has grown there.
So the Andheri commune, where they all lived together, ate together and would go off very early in the morning, my mother describes was a very beautiful place covered by very large trees, and people would come, gather together, have breakfast and then leave for the day's work and then come back late in the evening. Sugar was rationed in those days, so they would carry sugar in their cigarette packets because they would not be allowed more than that. Mummy also writes about the times when Sultana Jafri, who Sardar Jafri's wife, was in charge of the kitchen, and then what would happen is, after a while, when only onions would be hanging in the kitchen, it meant that money had run out even for the potatoes, which were normally there. But these were people with a mission, and I think nothing else mattered to them. I remember the Red Flag Hall, where I stayed till the age of 9, which was actually a large flat with individual rooms given to 8 families. I lived there with my parents and my brother, and we shared a common toilet and a common bathroom for 8 families families, the drawing room of that was called the Red Flag Hall, because that's where all the Communist Party meetings used to be held. And you had people of the ilk of Sardar Jafri and Savant Kaka, Munish Narayan Saxena, all these people. And yet I remember them as extremely happy times, because we were really like a large family. We were children who grew up together, and because all the women were working. My mother had to go out and work with All India Radio as an announcer, and it's very interesting. On this side, I need to tell you that in the Vivid Bharati program, it was my mother who insisted that in those days they never announced the name of the lyricist. And my mother, because she was a lyricist's wife, said that this is patently unfair and you need to announce the name of the lyricist, and that's how it came to be. And of course, Sahir and all were very pleased. I also remember that when we were there in मन चाहे गीत या आपकी पसंद, and उसमें मम्मी used to take our names. So she used to say, और मुंबई से पप्पू चुन्नम मुन्नी, and we used to all be really thrilled because she was taking our names, etc. That's an aside. So the women had to work, because all the money that my father earned went to the Communist Party, and he was left with only 40 rupees to look after his entire family. And yet poverty and the lack of material goods was never of any concern to any of us. I'm not singling out my brother Baba and me as exceptional. The same thing happened with Sardar Jafri's children. The same thing happened with Savant Kaka's children, because that's what you saw. But what you did get in its stead was enlightened people, progressive people. I remember all of us being put in a truck and taken to watch the Republic Day's lights at Chowpatty. We used to celebrate Holi, Diwali, Eid, Christmas, Ganesh Chaturthi, Govinda, all of it. So India's syncretic culture, India's pluralistic culture was given to us by a process of osmosis almost. So we grew up in a very liberal, progressive atmosphere that respected women and celebrated India's pluralism. For that, I think, is the greatest gift that my parents have given me.
Any poem of his which has inspired you, or which you remember in times of distress?
Always when I'm confused and I don't know what to do, there is a poem of Abbas that stands as a beacon of light for me. Whether it is Makan, in which he talks about the irony of the construction worker who with his sweat and his blood makes this fancy building, and when the building is complete, then a chowkidar comes and stands at the door and doesn't allow that very man who has built the building to come inside. My work with the slum dwellers in Mumbai actually started because of Makan. My work with women, because I mean, imagine, he wrote 65 years ago, Zindagi jahad mein hai, sabr ke qabu mein nahi, उड़ने खुलने में है, निखत ख़मे गेसू में नहीं, जन्नत एक और है जो मर्द के पहलू में नहीं, उसकी आज़ाद रविश पर भी मचलना है तुझे, उठ मेरी जान मेरे साथ ही चलना है तुझे. There are two shades of his, which again are my guiding lights. One is very simple, प्यार का जश्न नई तरह मनाना होगा, प्यार का जश्न नई तरह मनाना होगा, गम किसी दिल में सही गम को मिटाना होगा. और एक उन्होंने कहा था, कोई तो सूद चुकाए कोई तो जिम्मा ले, कोई तो सूद चुकाए कोई तो जिम्मा ले, उस इनकलाब का जो आज तक उधार सा है.
How would you sum up the legacy of Kaifi Saab?
It isn't his alone. What Kaifi left behind is something that he received from the progressive writers movement, which is the spirit of justice, the spirit of celebrating plurality. It was what propelled the progressive writers. It was what propelled the Communist Party. Javed has written a very beautiful poem on Kaifi Saab called Ajeeb Aadmi Tha Wo. मोहब्बतों का गीत था, बगावतों का राग था, कभी वो सिर्फ फूल था, कभी वो सिर्फ आग था, अजीब आदमी था वो मुफलिसों से कहता था कि दिन बदल भी सकते हैं, वो जाबिरों से कहता था तुम्हारे सर पे जो सोने के जो ताज हैं कभी पिघल भी सकते हैं, हवाओं से वो कहता था मैं तुमको मोड़ सकता हूँ, सहूलतों से कहता था मैं तुमको छोड़ सकता हूँ, वो ख्वाब से ये कहता था कि तुझको सच करूँगा मैं, तू चाहे जितनी दूर भी बना ले अपनी मंजिलें कभी नहीं थकूंगा मैं, वो आदमी से कहता था कि आदमी से प्यार कर, उजड़ रही है ये ज़मीं को जिसका अब सिंगार कर, अजीब आदमी था वो. I think that really is who Kaifi was. When Javed wrote that poem, I was still grieving for my father, and I think when I read it, I just thought it epitomized the man, his spirit, his values. and I carry them in my heart, and all those who are working for gender justice, for the removal of poverty, fighting against religious fundamentalism. In all those people, Kaifi Azmi lives.
Thank you.
You just heard a recording from our archives in which noted film personality Shabana Azmi reflected upon the life and works of her father, Urdu poet Kaifi Azmi.